Yeah, that's me. That's the other guy. This is where we're at. I don't know. I'm not coming at. We are coming at you live, but I'm not. I'm not overly thrilled. That's the spirit. That's a
Yep.
that's a sound of a nice crispy boy. A nice crispy boy being opened by Brook Me 3. What's going on, Dodgers Nation? I am Clint. You can find me as Real FRG on Twitter and Instagram. Twitter's working today, and that's where that guy is posting stuff. Brook Me 3 on both of those. How you doing, man? How are you holding up on this wonderful sad day or happy day? I don't know what it is
I'm at
yet.
I'm at that stage of there's the different stages of grief, whatever. You're just like back to acceptance. I don't know what stage it is, but I'm at that one. It's just one of those years, just like every other year. It's fine. If they lose tonight, which about 50-50 on whether or not they lose tonight. But if they lose tonight, I don't think it'll affect me as much as it did last night. Last night hurt a lot because we should have won that game. So we should have tied up the series, which is even worse.
But to not dwell, to not linger, to not be sad, to not be bringing everybody down on this. There is positive vibes in the air. The guys have a group text going, so that now they texted each other last night, being like, "Hey, yo, I want to win," and then Jock was like, "Wait, what?" And then Cody was like, "Who dis?" And then here we are. Now they're going to win, and we're going to be confident about it. We got D-May on the bump today. We'll get more into the matchups in a little bit. Let us get into the comments. Let's be happy. Ryan Moore says 2018 vibes, anyone? And now I'm sad again.
Oh, man.
It's weird, man. It's a weird setup. It's a weird situation. Like I do feel confident in this game. I have better feelings today than I did yesterday. Yesterday, it was one of those games where it felt like you were supposed to win. We were supposed to win. The line told us we were supposed to win, and damn, I mean, at least for the financial gain, I wish I would have bet on the Braves as the underdog. But here we are. Hindsight is 2020, and 2020 sucks. But our homegirl Sierra is still in denial. She says, "I am in denial." Joe Reyes says, "Whoop, go blue, whoop." At least that's how I read it.
That's good. Yeah, that's a lot of energy. I think we need a lot of energy tonight. Somebody needs a lot of energy tonight.
For real. Roach says he has some words. Those were several of them right there. What else you got in the comments?
Jose Rudd over on YouTube says no off days are hurting them. Nobody has off days, so
yeah.
I don't know how you can really argue that with the deepest team in baseball. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man.
It's one of those. It's one of those weird things with this team where it feels like if everything doesn't go perfect, they just kind of like derp. They just kind of can't figure out how to get back on track with something. So, this is literally the last time we can have a punch in the face and rebound from it. They got punched in the face for the first two games and came out and scored 11 runs in the first inning. 15 through 3, and then they plated 2 over the next 9 plus 6, 5 innings, whatever the hell math. The bats are not good. The bats are very not good, and I think, and I hope, and I feel that it's time. Maybe that was the last face punch, gut punch, whatever the hell they want to call it, to get them back on the road to treating these games seriously. You just put out the thing about Alex Wood's comments yesterday about well, how did he say it? It's like, we've been here so much. It's hard to get it up for us.
It was a rough thing to read as a Dodger fan, especially coming off the loss. Unfortunately, he said it right before the loss, which makes it worse for him because I'm sure in that moment, it made a lot more sense. But looking back in context, you're like, basically, it's like we won so many divisions and we've made so many deep playoff runs that it's hard to find the energy during these games. It's hard to get up and get excited because we've been here so often. And it's like, dude, that is not what you want to hear from your team that's in the playoffs right now. That is the last thing that you want to hear, especially now 3-1. It sounds like there's just no fight in your team. And that's really discouraging to hear. And Dodgers fans were upset, and I completely understand that. I was upset by that.
Yeah. I was asked, I forget who, but a friend asked me about it. Actually, it might have been old co-host Kevin asked me about it last night. Like, would you rather be stuck in this rut of where we keep winning the division and then keep getting our hearts broken every October, or maybe something changed? Maybe we go without a division for 2 years and then we come back and win it. I don't know. There's a lot of different ways. We're not ready to get to that point yet because we're still in this. it's a 3-1, and LCSs in championship playoffs, sports playoffs, 3-1 games or 3-1 records. There's some interesting history there. So maybe it continues. You kind of hope you have that on that side. People like also kind of looking at the hey, it's Atlanta, and go to the Patriots game and kind of look at that what, Super Bowl 52, 51, whatever it was. So there's a lot of ways you could look at this and be like, once again, there are things that line up that make you feel good, that make you feel confident, aside from the fact that, hey, this is supposed to be a really talented team. But then we felt that way yesterday. So at some point, you get tired of getting hurt.
Right. We should just learn by now that we're just never right about anything. So just accept that it's going to happen. If you're looking for something to be encouraged about, I guess, Base Lord over on YouTube said it pretty well. He said the comeback is the pitch Dustin made today, which obviously D-May is going today. Then you look ahead after that, and you have Walker Buehler coming, who in a big spot, Walker Buehler can step up. You don't know if he will step up, but he can. And then after that, you're pretty loaded with guys compared to where the Braves will be. So if you're looking at a Game 7 when they might have to start, Kyle Wright, you start to feel a little better about it going that far, but obviously you still have to win tonight. You got to win tomorrow just to make it Sunday.
We're at that point. We're at that point. It's cliche season. Everything is about to be max cliche season. One game at a time. Try not to do too much. Don't let the bad guy win. I don't know what else. I think I've run out of cliches, but it's kind of where we're at.
I wish I felt better. I wish we were coming to you guys today, and the series was knotted up, and we got D-May going today, and going up against a bullpen game, which was going to probably happen no matter what. The way things were lining up, I wish we could come back happier. I wish we could, but we're not. We are where we are, so let's deal with it. Last night, let's dive into that game a little bit. I know we don't really want to talk about it because it makes us sad, but you start looking at it. Obviously, Kershaw flopped a little bit, probably not his best game, but also when you look at the bats that were behind him, it's really hard to pitch with your back against the wall the entire game, and that's exactly what was happening. I mean, to score one run off of a rookie who's only pitched like 15 innings in the entire year altogether, there's no excuse. You're a juggernaut offense with 2 former MVPs in it, a bunch of all-stars in it. You just put up 15 runs tonight. There's no excuse for scoring one run across those 6 innings from that. There's just no other way to put it. He outpitched Kershaw, and that should not have happened.
Should not have happened. And again, we can get into excuse season, the roof, the wind, but Atlanta was playing under the same exact conditions the Dodgers were. The same umpires were in all the same spots, and they were able to plate 10. So, sorry, Dodgers, that's not an excuse. And to their credit, none of them have used that as an excuse. But again, that's where it comes down to, or it comes back to, like that thing where every little thing seems like it needs to be perfect, or else they're just like, whatever, I don't want to play then. We'll just kind of get through this, and it is what it is. But Caroline says, I feel more at peace now if they lose. I guess that's a positive thing.
I mean, that was the thing that I said on Twitter last night. I was like, you just know that the worst part about this is they're going to come back tomorrow, win, probably dominate, and then give you some hope, make you think they can win this whole thing, and then just get blown out on Saturday to get eliminated. So Dodgers tend to do stuff like that, man. They tend to get your hopes up and make you feel good about things, and then they just drop the ball. So I don't know. Don't get your hopes up. That's all I can say. Temper expectations.
On the note of the roof, I'm a little bit, again, like usual, a little bit behind the comments here, but Roach said, what's the point of having a roof if you're not going to use it at MLB? Well, the roof keeps the Rona in, and it was very important to get 10,000 fans in there, or else all of this was for naught. Fabian's being positive here. We got positive Fabian over on Facebook. Dodgers are good. We should come back. Again, not an insurmountable 3-1 deficit, especially with everybody lining up. If we get through this game, I like D-May on the bump. If we get through this game, all of a sudden you got Walker, taking the ball in Game 6, and I would hope we get Angry Walker. We get good Angry Walker, not Walker. Not I'm going to walk 11 guys in 13 innings this postseason, because that's been a big problem. I mean, that's something we were talking about before the playoffs. You know, a number of outlets talked about that, but we're the best, so no. But you know, so much of this postseason is going to rely on Walker Buehler, and while you know what, his numbers look okay, his 2.77 ERA or whatever it is. 11 walks. He's not getting deep into games, and he's setting everybody else up for failure. You got to pick up a lot of innings, and you know what? In a 2-game series or a 5-game series, that's okay. But in a 7-game series, you didn't get anything out of him. You got what, 5 innings? Oh, you got a decent start out of him. I think it was 5 innings in his start in this series, but he still had to work a lot. And Kershaw and his back really is the big thing that set everything back from there. But we haven't had good or great Walker. And that's where we're at right now. But, you know, getting back to kind of last night's game, Kirsch, I don't know how much more you could have expected out of him. I started calling him Kershaw, or, you know, Kershaw because it just seems at this point, I don't blame, Kershaw is not to blame. Kershaw did exactly what he was supposed to do. He kept his team in the game. You needed to send him out in that 6th inning because he still had a low pitch count, and you need to save some arms or whatever. But he was cruising; he was doing well. On the other hand, he did just like come off a back thing, and then he, you know, kind of ate shit coming off the mound there, trying to get that Acuna chopper or whatever. Maybe you look at it a little bit sooner, but I also don't put that game so much on Dave because Dave went to, who'd he go to? Brewstar. The first time all season. Brewstar allows inherited runners to score. He looks like crap. Same thing with I almost called him. Same thing with Victor Gonzalez. I don't know, man. Is it just a curse? Is it something where these kids see, oh crap, I'm coming in to help to save Kershaw here. I have to do good. What do you think? How do you feel about this?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that you can possibly, you know, as a young guy coming in, especially those 2 young guys coming in right after him, the way it stacks up is kind of odd, but coming in, they know the legacy of Clayton Kershaw in the playoffs. There's no way that they don't look at that and be like, oh man, this is a big moment. Like, part of his legacy falls on me right now. Like, it goes from a small, couple run outing to could blow up and become something bigger. There's a lot that falls on him. So I don't want to say that they don't think about it. And I'm sure it's in the back of their minds. You hope that it's not something that's changing the way they pitch or anything like that. But, even the balls that Brewstar got tagged with, he was missing his spots. He's kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
You get one down the line past JT, and you don't expect somebody to turn on a ball like that that's 100 miles an hour. You just don't expect stuff like that. So, the Braves were putting him in the right spot. And, just like the Dodgers have been saying the past couple of days, credit to the Braves. They're putting the bat on the ball every single time. That's not something that the Dodgers can say that they're doing. Braves aren't striking out a lot. That's a big difference maker in the postseason.
Yeah.
If you can put the bat on the ball, you're probably going to win ball games eventually.
Yeah, but is it the Braves aren't striking out a lot, or is it the Dodger pitchers just aren't really getting put away stuff? I guess they sort of go hand in hand there, but still. We got Frank Lopez on YouTube saying for the bats, they need to wake up and hit home runs, just something, because like I said, it's win or go home. Frank's saying win or go home. So I think Frank right here is taking just about anything. Just score some points, as Dino Ebel would say.
Do something, man. Do something.
We got another Frank, unless this is the same Frank, but varying positive thoughts. Of course, the best positive thought, positive thinker, our positive correspondent here on Blue Heaven Podcast. You got Gail, Miss Gail Johnson. You find her fine work on our DodgersNation.com, but we put out an editorial this morning just talking about the hope for the series and how much all this means to all of us. It's not just like, I don't know. We live and die by this team. We, especially you and I, this is kind of our thing. It's kind of our gig. But we're all here. We're all knee deep in this team every single day, and again, it's just it's tough to see in a way, or it is tough to see, but it's. I don't know where I'm going with it anymore, but check out Gail's piece.
Check out her piece.
The positive vibes. That's what we're going with. There are positive vibes. I think there are a good amount of fans, a good amount of people that are definitely, feeling confident about this game, saying it doesn't matter, we can do this with the best team in the league and all that kind of stuff. Our other Frank, our buddy on the Twitter, Frank Talk's friend, Frank Lopez. What do they call it? Let's Be Frank podcast. There we go. He says the upside is if they actually pull this off, if they win the next 3, they prove everybody wrong, then we can say we're the few that didn't give up on them. But also at the same time, he qualifies it. But it's like, why do they deserve that from us? And there's a question for you. Why do the Dodgers, after getting bounced in the first round last year, 17 we should have won, so we can count that away. But after so many postseason shortcomings, why do they deserve this from us? Why do they deserve the hope and positive thoughts?
I mean, this is your team, man. You live and die by your team. You win with your team, you lose with your team. I think the Cleveland Browns are a really sad team, a really sad franchise. But when I look at their fan base, I'm like, those are cool dudes. Those are dudes that are like, I'm here no matter what. One day we're going to get there. One day we're going to reach the Holy Land. One day we're going to have a quarterback that's here for more than 4 years at a time. No matter what, you just stick with your team.
Yeah.
And I think as Dodgers fans, we are knee deep in that right now. You talk about 1988 is the last time your team won a World Series. That wouldn't be so bad if you didn't have 5 or 6 teams that probably should have won the World Series this year or that year.
Yeah.
And that's the issue is we've had 5 or 6 different teams, I would say, since 1988 that probably should have won a World Series title at some point. 2018 is not one of those teams, so don't get me started there. But it's really hard to know the potential of your team and to watch them fail every single year. I think there's something to be said about knowing that your team's bad and just riding with it. We definitely had that as Dodger fans for a couple of years, a couple long years, as a matter of fact. We knew they were going to be bad, so it's like, all right, well, we lost. It's all right. It's still my Dodgers, still love them. But when you know that you're a championship caliber team, it hurts so bad to watch them disappoint. Last year was really tough to watch them lose to the Nationals because there is no way that they should have lost that series. There is no way that they shouldn't have ran through every team in the playoffs, and they just hit a brick wall and died. So,
yeah,
do they deserve it from us? I don't know necessarily that anybody deserves it from any fan, but that's what part of being a fan is, and that's why we stick around, because we love it and we love the good moments, and we live and die with them, and that's how it's going to be.
Well said, man. The playoffs are a crapshoot, and the Dodgers got to find a way to keep their crap above everybody else. I don't know if that's an expression. I think sure. Knox Kelly, Joe Kelly's kid, Joe Kelly's son, nailed it with his mom, Joe Kelly's wife, Ashley, posted a fine video on her Instagram today. Knox Kelly comes out saying, "We didn't come here to lose. We came here to win. We need fireworks. We need a trophy." And you know what? I've never identified more with a 4-year-old in my life.
It's the only time I've ever really understood anybody under the age of like 20.
Yeah, seriously. Moose brings up a good point here. When Mookie hits, the rest hit. And even, that simple challenge play like we were talking about in the big blow-up day, the good day, the happy times, something simple, he gets on base, and 11 runs are plated. Mookie has put that weight on his shoulders, too. He said, I got to take that responsibility and be the guy that gets on base and scores some runs. But at the same time, you get another situation last night where they load the bases and they come away with 1 run. They load the bases twice. They come away with 1 run. It's frustrating. It's frustrating to see so much talent in the lineup and things just not get done. And you wonder how much longer you can just keep running these same guys, these same core, season after season, and expect something different. I've been saying it, and we'll save this whole wavelength for an off-season show or whatever it is. Hell, it could be an off-season already by Monday. I hope not. But there's a lack of a killer instinct on this team. There's too much catch and release, and there's not enough hunt to kill on this team. And it rears its head in these situations. Again, we're not, like I've been saying, if everything doesn't come out perfect, then they just give up. And you can't have that. You got to have something a little bit different. I hate the man with every fiber of my being, but Carlos Correa is a beast because he doesn't care. He doesn't give a crap. He's there to win. He knows everybody in baseball that isn't an Astros fan hates him. And he's like, shower me with your hate. I'm going to go win a ball game. having that kind of vibe, just something different than instead of like, oh yeah, we feel good coming into the clubhouse today. We talk to each other over text. I don't know. Maybe JT's not the right leader for this team. Maybe they need another leader that's just a different type of a real Kirk Gibson. Give me somebody angry. Give me somebody that wants to win, that'll punch you in the face if you're not doing the right thing. I yield my time.
Somebody, I think Hatfield brought it up in the chat. Do you subscribe to that the Billy Bean playoffs are a crapshoot idea?
I mean, I think there's enough evidence to make an argument on that. We've seen there's often
Dodgers evidence to make an argument out of that.
I mean, when you see so many wild card teams, it's a crapshoot because not every year the best team wins. And hell, there's a chance now with the Astros just keep hitting again, so they're up 5-1 as we're doing this, and the two best teams by record might not make the World Series this year if the if TB can't put one up, or if the Dodgers can't find a way to win 3 in a row. So it's about who's hot late and who can find their way to sneak in, and who just has the right people hitting at the right time. Because you can have Mookie Betts, who's an MVP candidate, but what is he hitting? I think you did the numbers. He's hitting like 140 in the series or something like that. I don't know.
You look at guys that are supposed to be key contributors, and that were, to be fair, all regular season. Granted, it's 60-game regular season, but guys who are supposed to be that coming into this. You got Mookie Betts 2 for 14, hitting 143 in the postseason. Obviously, as a leadoff hitter, not going to cut it. Cody Bellinger 3 for 16, hitting 188. Even AJ Pollock, who had a pretty good regular season and has limited appearances, I guess, 2 for 10. You got Chris Taylor, who was, to me, the most surprising, the drop off from the regular season. He's hitting .091 during the postseason. And then obviously, I think the one outlier is Will Smith, who's 2 for 16, but also he's tagging the ball, and he's just really a victim of really bad BABIP. So I'll give him a pass on that one. But you combine all those guys who are supposed to be key contributors, all those guys who are so important to offensive production throughout the year, and they're hitting 149 in the championship series. And there's just no way that you're going to win ball games with your main guys, 4 or 5 guys hitting 149. It's just not going to happen. It doesn't matter how good your pitching is. And going into that as a starting pitcher and knowing that in the back of your mind, it's going to affect you. It's going to change your game. It's going to pile on when you get one run on you because you're like, oh crap, now we're down a run. Now they're moving. Now we don't have anybody that can score because we're hitting 149.
Yeah. There's that lack of moving the chain, keep the line moving. There's that, the Royals famously won a World Series in 15 on that, and it's not all about slug. It's not all about big hits or a bunch of hits in one game. It's about timely hitting, getting runners over, being smart, good productive at bats, and we don't see that all the time. Even like, I think it was yesterday or whenever the hell it was, you got runner on second, nobody out, or one out or something. Runner on second, nobody out. JT, grounds out to shortstop or third base. That's a horrible at bat, and you're supposed to be a leader on this team. You got to get that ball to the right side. You got to get a runner over. You got to find a way to make runs happen. Sure, you got all these big bats, you got all these big names, but it don't mean shit in the playoffs if you can't score runs. And so we find ourselves once again in this series. We can't score runs unless it's game 3. I guess that they've saved all the runs for game 3. So. Frustrating. A lot of frustration here.
Knowing that they're capable of something like that. Too. Knowing that they're capable of busting. That wasn't a fluke. That happens. The Dodgers can do that. They are capable of putting up 10 runs with 2 outs. They are capable of moving the line like that. They have the bats to do it. They have the eye to do it. They have the plate discipline to do it. They have everything that they need to get that done. They're just not getting it done. And I think that's the most frustrating part. Like if your team had under-succeeded all year long and managed to get to the championship series, which does happen sometimes, you would feel better about it. But just knowing the fact that the Dodgers can do stuff like that is just like, man, you guys really are just disappointing everybody right now.
100,000%. Let's dig into some more of these comments here. What do you got off the top of your list before we get into tonight's game and we look at the positives, or we try to set up some positives for tonight's game? We want to get into your guys' takes here. We don't mean to always take over the show, guys. Sorry.
People are not happy about you mentioning Puig in your World Series aspirations. I don't think people agree with you on that.
I said Puig?
Yeah, you're talking about like a fiery guy to get you into the,
Oh, well,
punch you in the mouth.
I said Correa, but yeah, you need just somebody a little bit different.
Correa is worse.
Correa is worse, but Puig. I think it was SD Dodger Tim was talking about Puig. We were talking about it last night, and sure, Puig has the passion. He showed up for the playoffs on paper, but he also didn't listen to the team. He didn't adhere to the analytics, and sometimes wasn't always paying attention in the outfield. So, yeah, I don't know if I'd go the Puig route, but definitely somebody just a little bit different. Just you can't have everybody just being like, can't have a clubhouse full of Lebowskis.
Yeah, that you can't. Chris over on Facebook says brings up a good point. Says we could use David Price right now, and that this is the first time all year long that you kind of are like, man, David Price would probably be helpful right now.
Damn
not necessarily
straight.
that he would, not necessarily that he would be making a dominant impact or anything like that in the starting rotation because we don't know. But then you kind of can save some guys for the bullpen, et cetera, et cetera. Moves a lot of pieces around, has a trickle down effect. So yeah, this is the first time all year where I'm like, man, I wish we had David Price because throughout the year we were good.
Mm-hmm. Ryan Moore says, honest question: would a new manager shake things up in the clubhouse for good? I don't know if this is a manager thing. I mean, Dave's biggest weakness is bullpen management. I think it's very hard to keep a group of very talented individuals on the same path and working together well all season without there being a lot of infighting. Maybe fighting is good, just something different. I kind of came to the realization, hearing a lot. We've heard so much about Dusty Baker and the Astros over the last couple of days because, well, let's face it, ESPN and all those type of hot takes are boring because they're just trying to go for the hot take, as it were. But I really do think Dusty would be a better manager for this team, for the Dodger team right now. But of course, we have no way of really knowing that. We don't get to just plug and place things, which is lame.
No, we don't. Yeah,
I
you
want
never know what you're
powers.
gonna get. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people suggest a lot of different managers too, and I don't know. Like all of them, I'm like, I don't know if that would make you a better team. I don't know if that would make you a worse team. I honestly couldn't tell you. There's been people that talked about Chase Utley coming out as into management, and I think the last thing that the Dodgers need right now is inexperience. Obviously, Chase comes with a lot of on-field experience, but zero managerial experience. So I would temper expectations in that. If the Dodgers are going to make a move away from Dave Roberts, it's going to be probably with an old-school guy that's been there before. So
yeah,
I don't know. I don't think that they're going to make a move away from him. I really don't feel like that in my heart and soul that they're going to move away from Dave Roberts this year. But if they did, it would not be with a brand new guy that is just coming into it.
Getting into a couple more of the comments, our friend Sierra says she agrees with me, a lack of killer instinct. Janet said what I had said also last night, using the Kobe gif, soft. The Dodgers are soft. And I honestly think that's the best way to do it. But I want them to prove me wrong tonight. Prove me wrong tonight, Los Angeles Dodgers. I'm tired of looking at this team do this stuff and being embarrassed to call them my team. But I'm not going to be somebody that's dumb enough to go burn a jersey like some of these cucks out here online.
No, yeah. If you're at that point where you're going to burn a jersey because you're upset about your team, then it's just you're weak, man. You're weak. I don't know why you even bother being a fan of anything.
I love Katie's take here. She says, "I can't not be a Dodgers fan. I have a Dodgers tattoo, and you can't burn yourself."
That's true. You're locked in. You got nowhere to go. I don't know what else to tell you unless you just want to tell people you're a fan of Los Angeles.
All right, let's dig in. You want to look at the pitching matchup, or you want to look at the lineup first?
Let's go lineup. Pitching matchup's kind of weird since it's a bullpen guy.
All right, Dodgers. Back to what I guess game one lineup here. You got Peterson back at the DH spot. A lot of back and forth, right left. Mookie, Siegs, JT, Max, Will Smith, Cody, AJ Pollock. You got Jock. You got CT, Dustin on the mound. Anything stand up for you or stand out?
No, not in particular. You got obviously the lefty going on the mound, but for him to go 2 innings would be a shock. So I don't really see that happening. I think that's why you get Jock Peterson batting so far down in the lineup, or today in particular, because you just want to protect him from that. Other than that, putting CT back in, I, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Gets a day off, but he has looked terrible. And during an elimination game, I just can't help but feel you just got to put your hottest guys in there, and he's not our hottest guy right now. So I don't know about that move. But aside from that, I feel pretty much fine with everything else, I guess. I don't love Justin Turner hitting in the third hole this postseason, by the way.
No. I'll note as much as we put JT on this pedestal for his playoff JT, he's under 200 for the last like 3 postseasons. So all told, so JT isn't quite getting it done in October of late, and it sucks. Like coming into this, he was hot at the end of the season, coming off the IL. In his last whatever it was, 3, 4, 5 starts in the regular season, he looked really good. So you didn't think that would carry over this way, but the timely hitting isn't there. He's very pull happy. He's not taking smart at bats. He's not trying to be a team player and move the guys over the right way. It looks like he's trying to go for pop instead of finding a lot of that outfield grass. So you when JT starts going right, you're going to start. I guess I'll do it for you guys. You just start seeing him go that way. He's going to start going to the down the right or towards right field, get that right center gap, and he's not there right now. So I agree with you. Maybe change it up there, but it's a little too late now. It's submitted.
It's definitely too late. It's not happening. So we'll have to see how it goes tonight. I would really love just to see Will Smith find some room somewhere. Of all people, of everybody in the lineup, he deserves to find it. But it all comes back to Mookie. If Mookie's not getting this lineup started the way it needs to get started, it's just not going to happen for them, and they're not going to win this ball game. So I'm going to be watching Mookie's first at bat very closely because I know he's going to put a lot of this on himself, and some people are made for that, some people aren't. I still don't know if he is. So TBD on that one, but I hope he's made for it.
And guys, go ahead and drop your picks to click. We're definitely running a little long today, but who knows? This could be our last pregame, so might as well have some fun with it. I don't think it will be. I think we will do a show tomorrow, and we'll have birthday pregame because I will be older. But call your shots. Who's gonna go deep tonight? Who's gonna be a difference maker? I'm gonna go Mookie myself. I think Mookie is gonna be mad and isn't gonna like the narrative. He's gonna understand that when you sign that kind of money, there comes the pressure, and I think he can handle a little bit more than others potentially could. So that's the way I'm going with it.
I'm gonna go Will Smith, man. I just think he's tagging the ball way too hard to not be hitting some dongs. So I'm going to go Will Smith tonight. I think he's going to try to change up his launch angle with the way things have been going.
Stick with the catchers, baby. Stick with the catchers.
Catch until I die, baby.
On the other side, same old. No, I mean, you got Markakis back in the lineup, so you got the right-handed lineup going, or the right-handed pitcher on the mound lineup going. Acuna, Freeman, Ozuna, the murderer's row, I guess, for the Braves, because they're killing it. They're killing us. And then the rest are all the same. Darno, Albie, Swanson, Riley. I want to see Riley in center field, man. That would just at least we can go out having a little bit of fun. But better outfield defense. It looks pretty solid. I like Dustin either way. It has nothing to do about the lineup. I think Dustin May. Dave Roberts today said that this is D May's Walker Buehler moment, his opportunity for a Walker Buehler moment. What are you expecting? Not even line, not numbers, not how many innings and all this kind of stuff. What are you expecting out of Dustin May in terms of, I guess we could go with tenacity?
Yeah, I think he's going to come out angry. I think he's going to come out hungry. I'm really looking forward, honestly, just to watching him pitch to see how he reacts, win or lose. I just want to see how he handles this situation. Because he's obviously a big part of our plans moving forward for the next foreseeable future. So talking about next year's playoffs, he's definitely going to be in that rotation next year. So I would really like to see how he's going to react to this. It is a big moment for him. It's probably it is the biggest moment of his career right now. There's not really any way around that. But I expect him to hammer the zone, and I expect him to go right after guys. Whether or not he actually does that, because when he's not feeling confident in stuff, you see him get away from the zone a lot. You see him walk guys. That's when you know he's not feeling himself. He's not feeling right with his breaking stuff. When he's going to his fastball more often than everything else because he doesn't feel like he can throw strikes with anything else or get anybody out with anything else, that's when you know when you're in trouble. So if you see him mix in a lot of breaking stuff and going right after guys, you're going to get good results today.
Yeah, I feel really good with D-May on the bump, man. He's faced pressure situations, and he's handled them well. I mean, getting the opening day start in the weirdest season in baseball history on like a day's notice, and coming out and shoving as well as he did. I think he's going to be that type of kid who just straight lives for it, man. And Dustin's going to do good for the Dodgers. Tonight, it's going to be about the Dodgers doing good for him. The bats need to get going the same way they did with CK2-2 last night. He couldn't. Kirsch had to be too fine, and eventually kind of, it burned him a little bit. And it burned him quick. It burned us. It burned the whole team quick because, all of a sudden, once again, inherited runner score. Everything looks bad. But let's go. Anthony says Tommy coming out of retirement. Man, I saw a comment today. I forgot who posted it. I think it was Todd Munson on Twitter. But talking about, like, could you imagine, Tommy managing during the Twitter era? And not for the old man blatant racism and sexism and all the other bullshit that he would get, canceled or fired or whatever, but because he didn't win a bunch of World Series when they went, back-to-back World Series in the 70s and all that kind of stuff. So it was one of those things, just laughing at it. It's like, man, what a time to be alive.
Yeah, I don't think the lights are on, but nobody's been home for Tommy for quite a while. I think a couple of years now. So I don't expect Tommy wheeling out there and get the job done anymore.
Our boy Zed, I've seen Zed. Sorry, man, it's been tough to get your comments. I'm seeing him a little bit late. I saw Zed talking about David Price and him needing to opt out for his family. Yeah, no, definitely. DP is. I have no problem with him opting out. It would be killer if he was here right now because, like we're saying, it is just that different. He brings a different vibe. He brings a different mentality. It'd be like having another Vandy Bueller on the mound right there. I guess there's something about them Vandy boys that has some fire and some spark in them. But Zed was also saying it's stupid to burn the jersey. So if something goes bad tonight, if you burn your jersey, don't watch the team ever again. You don't deserve it.
Just send it to me. Those are expensive, man. Just send it to me.
It's a nice giveaway. There are sick Dodger fans all around Los Angeles.
Yeah. Not everybody can afford a real jersey. Some of us have to buy the cheap overseas ones that are spelled wrong, like me.
And we're giving one away, but we are doing a giveaway. We're giving away a Clayton Kershaw autographed photo. So check out our Instagram for that, at Official Dodgers Nation. A few of the called shots, and then let's bail out of here. We got a couple Jocktober, Under the Sea and Jose Rod calling for a Jocktober shot. Aeronatic on YouTube is pissed that Muncie's still at 4. King Yellowman saying very reasonable. That one's going to be a bit of a head scratcher throughout the offseason, even if we find a way to somehow get into the World Series and magic happens. But King Yellowman saying, why is AJ in left field instead of DH?
I don't know, man. What we look like. Danny over on Periscope says AJ finally goes yard. Khalil over on Periscope also says AJ goes yard. He's been tagging it as well the past couple of days, so it's a possibility. Cody over on Periscope says Seager. Seager did take AJ Minter deep, so that's a good matchup for him. He's the only one of the top 3 that matches up well against him, by the way, which is interesting how that works out.
Let's see. Our boy Doug McCain, don't forget to join the post-game show right after the game. Wherever you're watching us, you can find Doug on the post-game show. So we're hoping it's a happy show, but it might be a very, very sad and angry show. Either way, join and all cope or celebrate together. But Doug is on JT, or unless he's saying, I think he's actually not calling JT. He's saying JT's a problem, which also the same thing. JT's probably going to hit a home run now. We put it into the ethos. Roach says we need Milton Bradley on this team, and Milton Bradley type. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to ban you. We're going to end the stream now because of Roach. Everybody go boo Roach. Don't do that. I mean, I don't want to be a Trevor Bauer here and send everybody after.
Stick all of your fans on one person.
What did I say? Jose Rod also says that I'm turning 22. Man, it has been a while. Well, guys, we're going to end it here. Appreciate you all for hanging out with us. If this is the last one of these pre-games, it's been stressful for Brooke and I, but it's also been fun. We appreciate you guys coming in here and talking about each game, each day, and just kind of breaking up I wouldn't call it the monotony of the podcast, but doing something a little bit different. But podcast, it will be throughout the offseason. Either way, whatever happens, we will be here with you guys at least every week. And there's going to be a lot of offseason, man. There's going to be a lot of stuff. We hope it's a little bit shorter. We hope we get at least one more week of baseball. But sign us off, Mr. Me3.
Again, thank you guys for being here. We don't know if this will be the last one. It might be. Hopefully it's not. But we do podcasts all season long, all year long. Doesn't matter. We'll see you over there regardless. You can find us on the internet. We're at DodgerNation.com. We'll always have new and the latest stuff that's up there all the time. Articles, editorials, whether you want to feel good or feel bad. We got both of those going on nowadays. You can subscribe to our podcast so that you don't miss us throughout the season. We are Blue Heaven on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, Player FM, Alexa, or Amazon if you're nasty. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/DodgerNationTV. We got a lot of stuff going up there all the time. You don't want to miss it. I anticipate having us a really fun off season with that. So don't miss out on that. Guys, I'm at BrookMe3 on Twitter and Instagram. This guy on one of the sides of me, I can't see him, so I don't know which one it is. He's at RealFRG. We're both on Twitter and Instagram. We're at Dodger Nation on Twitter, at official_Nation on Instagram. Go check out that giveaway. I know Clayton Kershaw's coming off a bad day, but you still want a Hall of Fame signature on a photograph. Who doesn't want that? Go do that. Thank you guys for being here. Go Dodgers. Let's extend the season at least one more day.
Bye.